seems so easy for you to say universal knowledge that, I just went and stood somewhere for 10 years and the God came and gave it to me. No, it was very, very difficult, he says. All right, it was very difficult, he says, because uh, there are flies. It's not only about meeting God, there are other very, very natural, very physical problems that, keep in disturbing you. There are flies, giant ants, beetle, pests, leeches, snakes. Okay, there is the heat, there are the demons are not there to നമ്മൾ സാധാരണ പറയും ബ്രഹ്മമാർ വന്ന് ഇവരെ ഡിസ്റ്റർബ് ചെയ്യുമെന്നൊക്കെ, അതുപോലത്തെ അല്ല. പക്ഷെ വെരി 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 earthly things are enough for disturbance. Even the mosquitoes who torture you are a very difficult thing. All right, so Vishaka says that maybe that's how the gods tested you, but what's important is that you got what you wanted. So Yavaraki says that everyone expects that the appearance of God, that after doing so much penance, when the God finally comes in front of you, that would be a very, very great experience, a shattering experience ആയിരിക്കും. Okay, but he says that Indra came to see him many times. All right, but he was never sure, because Indra will never come in his own form. He came in different വേറെ വേറെ രൂപങ്ങളിലാണ് വന്നത്, and he tried to make Yavaraki understand. Okay, remember, Yavaraki was seeking the knowledge of the universe. So in each time, Indra came in different disguises and he tried to make Yavaraki understand that it is not possible to gain knowledge like this. If you want to gain knowledge, you have to go and experience things. Knowledge can be gained only through experience. Knowledge is time. But Yavaraki would not listen to all that. He says that I don't want to hear all this. You must grant me the knowledge. Okay, but every time he opened his eyes, he would see that this person has disappeared. All right, so all the earthly problems were always disturbing him, and it was then one day he decided suddenly that he had won. He does not remember how that realization came to him. He's not sure whether he got the knowledge or not, but he says that I have some mystic powers that I did not have before. I have a few secret arts, I have a few mantras. Okay, so that is when I decided that I am done. Okay, and Yavraki says that even after those 10 years, there was some part of me that has been untouched. Even after doing so much penance, I remembered the last time that he saw Vishakha. He had gone to say goodbye, and she was so sad about him leaving. She tried to stop him by removing her blouse and keeping his head on her chest. But even she knew that there is nothing to stop him, so she herself turned away from him. But he says that it was in a jackfruit or chakkade grove. Okay, there are many jackfruit trees there, so it was in a jackfruit grove that this meeting happened, and he remembers the smells. He remembers the smell of Vishakha, and he says that is what is the first thought that came to him when he completed his penance. Okay, and he was hungry for that moment, to go back to that moment where Vishakha was standing there. Okay, so Vishaka says that, oh, you have universal knowledge now, but you are still having these teenage fantasies. That's all gone. Okay, my breasts are not the same again. They are loose now. They are not the same breasts that you saw 10 years ago. Okay, Vishaka says that for so many days, for 4 days, you were waiting here, and I was very afraid of seeing you standing there. But now that you stand near me, telling me all these things, I feel sorry for you, she says. Okay, then finally she agrees to talk to him, stay and talk to him, because she says she is hungry as well. All right, and she's not worried about him touching her, but she's worried about the water. So she puts the pot down very carefully and she goes and talks to him. All right, and Yavraki says that you and Indra are the presiding deities, gods of my life. I have dedicated my life for you. All right, for Indra for Indra and for you I have avoided all women altogether. Okay, but now I sit in front of you. I am ready to betray Indra for you, because he has left me ignorant of a woman. Okay, but I am ready to betray that for you. And he tries to kiss her, and then she says, and that's when Vishaka says about her life. Okay, she says that I have been living alone in this hermitage, alone, parched and wordless, much like the land. We can compare Vishakha to the land itself that has had no rain, okay, for the past so many years. She says she is parched and wordless. just like the land, just like a she devil. Okay, and words for her are precious like water is precious for that land. She's afraid to bathe in them because she thinks that it will get over soon. But now that she has met Yavaraki, she wants to drown. Okay, she says, you went away and I was married off. All right. And she tells us now about her relationship with Paravasu. She says that on their wedding night, Paravasu came directly to her and said that, I know you did not want to marry me. I know that you loved Yavaraki. But don't worry, I'll keep you happy for a year. ഒരു വർഷത്തേക്ക് ഞാൻ നിന്നെ സന്തോഷമായിട്ട് നോക്കാമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. And he did that for exactly 1 year. It was almost like bliss. It was almost like she was in heaven. She was very, very happy. Now, at the end of the first year, the first day of the second year, they started, experiencing each other's bodies. And she says that happiness receded in the background because pleasure was something that came to the foreground. Okay, he used her body and his own body like an explorer, like he was looking for something. There was no shame, there was no degradation, there was nothing that was too painful. They tried many different things. All right, and she felt like he was leading her into some sort of a spiritual mystical plane. So she was very, very happy, she was very satisfied. And that is when suddenly he was called upon by the king to become the chief priest, and he left everything, he left her and he went away. All right, and even though the place where the fire sacrifice is happening is very close to their hermitage, he has never come back in these past 7 years. 7 വർഷമായിട്ട് ഒരിക്കലും തിരിച്ചു വന്നിട്ടില്ല. Okay, but she, Vishakha, is waiting for him, is waiting for the day when the 7 years will be over and when he will come back. Okay, and she says, alone, without no companion, I have become dry like the tinder. I am like, there is no water in her, there is no love in her, and she is ready to burst into flames. Tinder എന്താ നല്ല ഉണക്ക വിറക് പോലെ ആയിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ചെറിയൊരു സ്പാർക്ക് മതി, മൊത്തം കത്തും അല്ലേ. So that spark is Yavaraki now, because she is ready to burst into flames. All right, and that is when they become engrossed in each other. And she says that, I will give you the knowledge that Lord Indra could not give you. I will give you my body. Okay, and they go behind a champak tree, and that is when Nithilai and Aravasu enter. Okay, remember, Aravasu was called by Yavaraki to meet him at this place. So they've come there looking for Yavaraki, and that's when they notice that Vishakha's water pot is kept there. So Aravasu is first scared that maybe some wild animal attacked her, but Nithilai, who is a hunter girl, she has very good instincts. So she can see that there are no animal prints there, and she can see that there are 2 sets of prints. All right, there is the woman's print and the man's print. And that is when she says that, is your brother back? She sort of understands that something has happened. She says that nothing bad happened to her because the pot of water has been kept there very carefully. So Aravasu says that maybe she forgot, but in this famine, no one is going to forget a pot of water. That is when Nithilai follows the footsteps and she sees what is happening there. She sees she understands that something wrong is happening because Paravasu is not here. That is when Aravasu still does not realize it, and he goes and looks behind the champak tree, and he sees his sister-in-law and Yavaraki in a very compromising position. Okay, and there is a sound of gasp, and then Vishakha, whose clothes are all torn and her back is covered with mud, she runs to the hermitage without looking at Nithilai. Okay, Aravasu is very confused at this point. He sees the pot. So remember, Aravasu is a very, very simple, innocent boy. So he picks up the pot and he says, oh, I'll take this water back home. Okay, that's when Yavaraki comes. All right, and he comes, and from the pot that Aravasu is carrying, he pours some water into his kamandalu, which is a small metal pot, okay, with a handle. And that is when Nithilai, who is very, very angry, she says, some people are so shameless. Okay, they are like the snake-നെ വരെ നാണം കെടുത്തുന്ന രീതിയിലുള്ള ഷെയിംലെസ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ആൾക്കാരുണ്ട് എന്ന് പറയുന്നു. And Yavaraki turns to her and says, aren't you the whelp who was asking my old servant if I knew my moment of death? നീയല്ലേ ചോദിച്ചത് എനിക്ക് എൻ്റെ മരണത്തിൻ്റെ നിമിഷം അറിയാമോ എന്ന്. Okay, so how does he know that? He was not present there. So Nithilai is shocked. How do you know that? He says, then Yavaraki replies, I don't know when I will die. ഞാൻ എന്നാ മരിക്കുന്നതെന്ന് എനിക്ക് അറിയില്ലെങ്കിലും I promise you this. Okay, he says, you will be dead within the month. Okay, so within the month, Nithilai will be dead എന്ന് പറയുന്നു. So Nithila is very shocked, so she runs home. Aravasu says that, wait, I'll follow you, but Nithila disappears. All right. And then Yavaraki tells Aravasu, find me under the banyan tree next to the black cliff. There is a black cliff there. You will find me there. Okay. Aravasu is still very confused. He walks back to his father's hermitage, and again he's shocked. Okay. Vishakha has gone ahead of him. She is about to enter the house when she is shocked to see that her father-in-law Raibhya has come. Okay, he is thin and emancipated but physically active. Vishakha is shocked. He seems very angry. He says, where were you gone? And she says, I went to go get water, but she does not have the water pot. And that is when Raibhya sees that Aravasu is following with the water force. First he thinks that something is happening between Vishakha and Aravasu, but then he realizes that Aravasu is too simple for something like that to happen. And when he asks, was there anyone else? So he says Nithilai was there, and then he asks, was there anyone else? And Aravasu looks at Vishakha because he does not know what to say. So Vishakha says that I was feeling faint, so I fell down, and that's when Aravasu came, and that's why he's carrying the water. All right. So Raibhya says that, how convenient, you fainted, and that moment itself he was there to help you. He does not believe it. Okay, so he knows that someone else was there. He starts hitting Vishakha very badly. He starts hitting her. All right, and then that is when Aravasu can't see. He tries to hold his father back. He asks his sister-in-law to run away. All right, but Raibhya says that I want the truth and I'll kill her if necessary. I want to know who was there. Okay, I know how to handle her, and he keeps hitting her. All right, and that is when Vishakha also gets angry, and she says, yes, there was somebody else. There was Yavaraki, and he came to see me there alone. So now they understand, that Raibhya understands that she has probably been in a relationship